Colby Covington to Charles Oliveira says, I'm the biggest fight you can get. Former world champion, the king of Brazil, the king of Miami, Donald Trump's favorite fighter. So first and foremost, he's just saying things that aren't true, right? The king of Brazil, the king of Miami. He's not the king of either of those places. He's just doing more shtick, and he hasn't realized yet, Colby, that people are tired of the shtick. And I feel a lot of people, myself included, got tired of Colby Covington's shtick when he said what he said about Leon Edwards' dad. He went too far. It was unnecessary. It was disgusting. It was despicable. Any negative adjective you want to use, that's what it was. And people are tired of him. And he's got to the point where I think people rather just not pay attention to him as opposed to give him any sort of attention, which is what he wants. It's what he craves. And the truth is, this fight actually kind of makes sense. I understand that Charles Oliveira is a lightweight. Actually, let's get to that. I mean, Colby's so down low that he's calling out lightweights now. You know what I'm saying? He's not even looking at anybody in his weight class at this point. He's calling out lightweight fighters. So that's first and foremost. Then you got the fact that Charles Oliveira is an aging guy. You know, he's a former champion. He's a guy who is, what's the word I'm looking for? By the way, he's a former actual champion, not an interim champion, a real bona fide, undisputed champion. You know what I'm saying? And you can make do with what you want of that, because the truth is Khabib vacated the title and, you know, there was no champion, and you get what I'm saying. But he won the official title. So, moving forward, Charles Oliveira's getting older, and we saw what happened in the fight with Arman Tsarukyan. I thought it was a decent fight. I thought he almost had Arman Tsarukyan in a couple spots there. And I think if the fight was a little bit longer, it would have gave Charles more opportunities. But certainly Arman could have just laid on top of him for the other 2 rounds as well, just like he did for the other 3. So, with all of this said, I kind of like this fight. I like this fight because Charles Oliveira doesn't need to be fighting these up-and-coming young guys that are hungry and probably going to beat him. It makes sense to fight a washed Colby Covington, a lesser version of Colby. And let's face it, that's what Colby is at this point. He is no longer his old self. Colby Covington, in my opinion, made a grave mistake when he decided to sit out all that time. I want to say it was 2 years. He sat out all that time waiting for a title shot because he knew he was, you know, popular, and he had a close fight with Kamaru, and he wanted to wait for his rematch. Well, not his rematch. He wanted to wait for his title shot. He knew there was, you know, whatever. You get my point. You get my point, guys. Forgive me for my mistakes. Now, he fights Leon Edwards. He gets the title shot he asked for. He loses, and he looks badly, right? He looks badly doing it. And now he's in the back of the line. But the truth is, fighting hungry guys that haven't been there before, that are training, that are active, is not good for Colby. Because Colby's not active. Remember that grave mistake I was talking about? Well, when you sit out for a title shot, you're not being active. You're not doing nothing. Yeah, sure, you're training, but training's not the same as fighting. And training without a fight is different from training for a fight. It's just different. Mentality-wise, physical-wise, all things like that. And Colby Covington shot himself in the foot, metaphorically, of course, by doing that. Because now he's 2 years older. He's rusty from the cage. He's in the back of the line now. And the fans are kind of over it with him. The fans are over it. And we kind of just want to turn the page and forget about that whole Colby Covington era, if you could even call it that, because he was the number 2 guy in the division. He wasn't even number 1. So, you know, is it really much of an era if you're not the guy of the era, you know? With that said, this is a good fight for Charles, though, you know? I don't think Charles would like to fight Arman, or not like to fight him. I'm sure he would, but you get what I'm saying again. I don't think it makes sense for Charles to fight these up-and-coming hungry guys that have not been there before when Charles has been there before. This is a fight that, it's got star power behind it, name value. Colby Covington, Charles Oliveira, it's big names. And it's a fight that would be cool. Charles wouldn't have to cut much weight, if any weight at all. He just, gets there at 170. I think he outstrikes Colby Covington. I think if Colby takes him down, he's got to worry about the jiu-jitsu of Charles Oliveira. Charles is very crafty. He's always throwing up submission attempts. I think he can catch Colby in something. And yeah, man, this would be a cool fight. But at this point in their careers, I guess it makes sense. But that's pretty much all I got on this one, man. I don't want to see Colby Covington fight anymore. I'm good with turning the page and forgetting about his career entirely. I'm good off of him. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, whether you agree, disagree. It doesn't matter. Just join the discussion, follow for more, and leave a like if you enjoy the time spent.